Awesome. So welcome back. I have picked up this really cool Stagecoach toy. Like it said, it was for $1 from Mastercraft, which was General Mills, made in 1971. Did come with an instruction booklet, decals. There's a few things in the boxes. We are missing a few pretty significant parts. We're missing the doors and windows and everything like that. But we do have the rest of it for the most part, I think. So we'll work our way through it as we go. This is what it should end up looking like when we're completely done. The animals don't come with it. Apparently, you could order animals with this animal team coupon. Authentic wood carved animals. That would have been really cool. They apparently had other wagons too, other styles. It was the history of wagons apparently. So we're going to get started. Some of the video will be in fast motion. Some of it will be pictures, and then of course there'll be some talking on this one. Hope everyone enjoys the video. If you haven't yet, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how we're doing, and most definitely thanks for watching. Okay, I'll be honest. This is like the most confusing thing I've heard. So they tell you these words, but then show you all these pictures. And then I think there's some assumptions that like you should know. I don't know if like kids in the 70s were like constantly building like stagecoaches and covered wagons and crap, but yeah. So anyways, we're gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna grab an electric drill because drilling all the holes that they're asking to drill, and you gotta make these loops and everything. I mean, it's like, wow, this is crazy. Anyways, I'm gonna use the electric drill and we're gonna see if we can drill some holes through some of this. I think we've got to drill out for these single trees. I think there's one on each side. I think I have, this is the tree. I think it's got to have 3 holes drilled in it. Yeah, so I'm going to be drilling some holes for a minute, and then we'll come back and see what to do next. Awesome. So let me move this out of the way here. I have sanded the front pull piece, so this is where it's going to pull from the front. And I put a little eyelid screw in it, and then I drilled a hole to this piece to go on top of, because it's going to go on here, and then one on the side to go to the side, because this is going to ultimately attach onto the end of here, like so. So I drilled a hole through here. There's kind of one started, but I went ahead and drilled one anyways. I ruined two of the small screw or nails that they came with the kit, but I think I can get this top piece on with this little brass screw I have, so I'm gonna try that instead. I guess it's not gonna be as authentic, but I think it's gonna work easier. So let me screw this together and then we'll kind of take it from steps from there. Awesome. So got that piece on. It kind of turns there, which is nice. This piece actually broke most of the way, so we'll try to get a loop through there, but if not, it'll be authentically broken. Anyways, and then we're gonna attach this piece to this piece, which I think we can just run. I've drilled a hole, so I'm hoping we can just push the nail through and just kind of keep it slid in there. It's pretty tight, so if I can find a hole in here. Ooh, this is going to be difficult. Oh, I think I found it. Aha. I think some of this wood was just old. Oh. Looks like I made it a little too long. I might have to. Oops, some of this stuff's just falling apart. I might end up having to cut or sand this end a little bit. See if we can get it to slide through a little bit better. Let me work on that.